Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the problem with Juilliard. Now, for anyone who's interested in the creation of music, and has looked up enough stuff related to music, you've probably heard of Juilliard Music School, which is a highly acclaimed music school that is said to, of course, have taught some of the best musicians in the world, as well as has the best teaching for anyone who's interested in taking in doing music professionally with their life. So what I want to talk about today is a problem with it. Even though it might seem perfect from the surface, there's still problems with it. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to Juilliard, what is the problem with Juilliard Music School? Well, the first one of the two main problems with Juilliard Music School is the way is that it teaches you to make music in a certain particular type of way. Now, what I mean by that is that it doesn't really help you understand how music, when it comes to making something for a mass audience, is actually supposed to be made. It teaches you how to make music in a very textbook oriented type of way, okay, to be quite honest with you, okay? And that's a problem with Juilliard Music School, okay? There's another reason why, and there's probably a bunch of other problems Juilliard can cause, as well as all these expensive music schools. But when it comes to the specific two main points I'm gonna make, this is the first main point. Okay? And that is one of the biggest problems with music schools. That is the way it teaches you how to make your own music. Now, the truth of the matter is, when you're making music for the masses, especially in the past few decades, I'm certain you've kind of realized the way music is made nowadays is a lot different than it was many decades ago. And for the longest time, even to the 1990s, the so-called way music is made that is popular among the masses is quite hated by these so-called music experts. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at here. Because the truth about a place like Juilliard Music School is the way they teach you how to make music is they're going to teach you to do it in a textbook way, so it's going to be likable to maybe a certain particular type of niche audience, and particularly people who have higher taste in music, okay? And that's the biggest problem with Juilliard Music School. Like, have you ever watched those or those music award stuff that talks about, oh, these are the best musicians in the world for that matter, and so on and so forth, and all that type of stuff, to be quite honest with you, all that type of shit. The truth of the matter is, you know, when you listen to those music and you listen to them and say, "Oh God, this music's boring," that's an example of how Julia is going to teach you how to make music. It's going to teach you to make music in a very textbook way. If it, you have these rules, and if you go against if you hear someone tells you you don't have to follow the rules this exact way, you're going to be confused and go like, "What the fuck?" This is not what I was taught, and so on and so forth. And that's a problem with Juilliard, as well as a lot of music schools, okay? Because it just teaches you to do things in a very textbook oriented way. Like, for example, to be very specific, when it tells you to make music, maybe just about, like, for example, relationships and stuff, it's going to tell you to teach you how to make music in a certain particular type of way. Like, it has to be in a very textbook oriented way. Like, maybe you have to talk about the situation in maybe this precise way, like the woman, for example, is not showing her, is kind of leading you on, and this and that, and so on and so forth, and yada yada yada, all that type of stuff. But that can be very limiting, because the way music is made nowadays, especially when you're doing music that's not in a so-called civilized way, as I know a lot of these music experts probably think in their head, to be quite blunt with you and honest with you, the truth of the matter is you're gonna have problems. What if people want to hear songs talking about partying? What if people want to hear songs talking about the issues they have had in life, like substance abuse issues or this and that, and so on and so forth? And not even just for lyrics, what about the composition of the music that you're actually making? You have to realize there's certain types of songs people like, and so on and so forth, that might not be taught to you when you're making music, okay? Just like the whole, as I'm certain everyone's familiar with, music theory. And the thing everyone I'm certain is aware about music theory who've kind of heard about it is that it teaches you to make music in this precise exact way that actually might not necessarily be the most likable to people. Like it has to be done a certain precise way, you have to use precise chords, and so on and so forth. And it kind of limits your creativity and teaches you that if you don't do things in this exact way, then your music doesn't sound proper and it's not enjoyable. But that's problematic when you're making music for, of course, a mass audience of people, because obviously what one person might love, another person hates, and so on and so forth. So that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. And that's a problem with Juilliard Music School and a lot of music schools. They teach you to do things in this precise, exact formula and type way that is problematic for anyone who, of course, wants to become popular and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the biggest problem with Juilliard Music School. Whether it's lyrics or the beat, it teaches you to do things in its exact way, and if it's outside of a particular zone, you're not going to know what you have to do. And that's one of the biggest problems with Juilliard. Now the second biggest problem with Juilliard, for that matter, okay, that's also very, very, very true about it is the fact that in this modern day age, with this internet age, you can figure things on your own without having to go to Juilliard. Because the truth of the matter is, when you go to places like Juilliard, where they teach you how to make music and this and that, what's the point of going to a place like Juilliard where they teach you how to make music and this and that when you can learn how to make music on your own? All music is in its fundamental core, and I actually have a video about this, known as How to Understand Rhythm, you know. But yeah, like I was saying before, all music is its fundamental core is being able to manipulate sound in order for it to sound pleasing to the ear. It's really just numbers in the end of the day. You might say play up to 7 or something, and you create your own unique pattern or something with it. You might for example, okay? That's all you really have to do. It's really that simple. It's not complicated. It's not something that's out of your comprehension or anything like that, or there's certain particular techniques. Well, there is, but the thing is, at its fundamental core, all it is being able to manipulate sound. It's just like if someone creates a drum pattern, okay? Like just a basic drum pattern like that. I don't know if you heard it or not, but either way, you could come up with a basic drum pattern or something. The truth of the matter is, all you're doing is making your own variation of it. And if you understand that, then you're making your own music. That's all you really have to do. It's just an idea at its fundamental core. So if you know that and you put time and effort, especially over the course of years and so on and so forth, yada 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 yada, why do you need to go to Juilliard Music School? Like that's a problem I kind of have with the whole idea of going to Juilliard Music School. What's the point of going there where you could kind of learn all these things on your own? There's a lot of big time rappers and musicians, for that matter, who haven't gone to Juilliard Music School or any of these big time music schools, for that matter. Not to mention, you can do all of that without having to waste thousands of dollars for something where you go there and you don't even teach. Not only do they not teach you shit, they don't even treat you well, for that matter. To put it bluntly, that's what I'm trying to say. Anytime you're around people, especially people who are high class and high maintenance, a lot of them are assholes. So that's exactly the point I'm trying to get across here. So why the hell do you want to go to a place where they're not going to treat you well? In a lot of cases. And sometimes you make the smallest mistake, they're shouting at you in the top of their lungs. I'm not like, I think this new generation are kind of catching on to how a lot of people in the older generation acted. And that's why a lot of us are just kind of not really going along with it. Why do I want to go to a place where I'm really shouting and screaming at and I'm not even learning anything? It's stupid. It's dumb. It might have served a purpose for its time, okay, which even then I don't really believe that. But either way, the point is that it's outdated, it doesn't work, and some people learn at a certain speed compared to others, and that is the truth of the matter. It doesn't work, and it's just a waste of money, and there's probably a lot of abuse and so on and so forth, and a lot of things that happen that are not worth mentioning, and that's everything I have to say. So anyway, so in conclusion, all I have to say when it comes to a place like Juilliard Music School, simply put it, it's a waste of time to go to a place like Juilliard Music School if you're planning to become like a professional rap, pop, and so on and so forth musician, like to become a regular textbook music producer or musician for that matter. Because a lot of the things that you had to rely on a place like that to teach you, you can learn those things online. And not only can you learn those things online, for that matter, the truth of the matter is you can of course do it in a precise, exact way that, of course, makes sense to you, in short, as well as, of course, not be taught ways of thinking that are actually toxic and can actually screw up your ability to make music that's likable to a mass audience of people, okay? So, in short, Juilliard is a waste of time. Not only will it might teach you to make music in a certain precise way that's boring and textbook, it can also teach you to make it also is a waste of time for something you can figure out on your own. So if you didn't get it the first time, now you get it now. So truth be told, that's all I have to say about Juilliard Music School. Waste of time, don't join. So anyway, this is my video. I hope you found it informative as well as interesting. And I just want to say, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit a subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put, I'm out. So bye.